Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lectio Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guilain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada. Love rock music for a long time, and especially hard rock, metal, and prog. Once a week, I stop by here, my little office, and I come and listen to new music that you recommended. In this case, we are on a journey through the album Dark Passion Play by Nightwish. Let's begin with the presentation. That's the 9th video on 10 for this series. What we do actually is we will go through the whole album Dark Passion Play. That's the series. That's this series. We already did 11 songs of that album. You have them all with their call number, which is LM for Lectio Musica. This is the name of my series. And 99 would be the 99 video. So be careful sometimes. My numbers have part 1 and part 2, but for these I don't think so. Anyways, last week we did the Islander. That's LM104. 7 Days to the Wolves has been done in the past. It's LM72. And now we are doing LM105. The song is Meadows of Heaven. I will first react to a lyrics video done by a fan, but because at that time Nightwish didn't do any lyrics video. On Human Nature there was a lyric video for every single song. Not the case here. It's a fan-made video. I will do a short analysis of the lyrics and of the meaning of the song. That's the second part. Third part, I will be listening to two versions. One is an acoustic version, just the singer with the guitarist, nothing else. I haven't heard anything. I hope it's good quality. And there seems to be a symphonic version as well with Annette that is quite recent. I said, why not? Because I didn't find any proper live version of the song with Nightwish. There was one, at least for the image. I didn't listen to the sound, but at least for the image, it was unbearable to me. So I said, no, I don't want to present something I don't like, really don't like. All this stuff seemed to be, in terms of image, seems to be good, and quality at least minimally good. So we will see when listening to it. So without any further delay, I will go directly to the lyrics version. This version is a little bit more, I would say, aesthetically beautiful. The words, the lyrics are not as big as I really like. I like to have very clear lyrics on the screen, but maybe it will be good enough. So let's go and listen to the song. It's 707 3 2 1. Comes from a liner notes booklet. I think it's the first time I hear this on earphones.
I close my eyes, the lantern dies, the scent of awakening, wild honey and dew, childhood games, woods and lakes, streams of silver, toys of olden days, meadows of heaven, meadows of heaven.
Beautiful.
Flowers of wonder and the hidden treasures in the meadow of life, my acre of heaven. A 5-year-old winter home
That
in
is
a
a
place
paradise.
called home, sailing the waves of Mars, meadows of heaven, meadows of heaven, meadows of heaven, meadows of
Bagpipe of Troy. Flute. Irish whistle.
rocking chair without a dreamer, a wooden swing without laughter, sandbox without toy soldiers, Yuletide without the flight, dream bells flowers wither, treasures stay hidden until I see the first star of fall. I fall asleep and see it all. Mother's care and color of the kite.
it's a gospel improvisation at the end. I'm not sure that anybody in Nightwish has this formation. Wait a second. First time I hear that in my earphones. I've heard it, I would say, not very attentively. In my car, I think. First time I hear this on the earphones, and I'm flabbergasted. So I will do something. I will stop the video right here. I'll come back in 7 minutes because I want to listen to that song in master quality, because the video has a bad quality MP3 compressed audio file on it. So I could hear the compression very, very clearly. I'll be back in a second. Bye-bye. We're back, and I'm really happy I did that. Because I couldn't stand the sound. And even the regular CD quality has a little bit of difficulty to render the finale with perfect accuracy. So it's wonderful. I'm really happy I went and listened to a good quality version of it. First, let's go to the short analysis of the words. I don't see many difficulties in that one. Let's go through it. I will just raise a few questions on the way. Maybe you have answers to them. As usual, good fans, just put down your comments, your opinions on what I say. Last week, apparently, I missed something. I don't mind, really. I don't mind to be told, you got it wrong for that one. There are too many references, cultural references, literary references, musical references. I cannot be aware of everything. So I'm quite happy when I'm reminded something or somebody tells me, oh, you forgot. You didn't get it that way. Don't worry. Happy to understand. That's all I ask for. Verse 1 and 2. I close my eyes. The lantern dies. The scent of awakening, wild honey and dew. I close my eyes. Lantern dies, which means a light goes out. And I enter within myself. And what is the first thing that I have is the smell of awakening, smell of wild honey, and the morning dew. Childhood games, woods and lakes, streams of silver, toys of olden days. So a reminder of childhood, of the insouciance, the fact that as a child you just apparently appreciate life, according to that song. Appreciate life, simplicity, happiness, peace, being at home, and smelling the dew of the morning, and little toys. And how here is meadows of heaven. Now, you could ask yourself, the meadows of heaven, are they the childhood meadows, so from the past, of if they are the daydream of the past? That is a space for peace in the present. The memory of those days being the meadows of heaven. That's a very interesting question. I think that the song suggests that in an adult life, you can go to these meadows by going back to these memories. I think that this is what the song suggests, but open to all suggestion as always. Flowers of wonder and the hidden treasures in the meadow of life, my acre of heaven. this is where I think the wonder that creates the flower that triggers that the flowers trigger. Hidden treasure of the past. So wonder, treasure, games, child's game. In the meadow of life, this is my acre of heaven. And where is this acre of heaven? In the daydream where I close my eyes. Verse 4, 5-year-old winter heart in a place called home, sailing the waves of the past. That's very interesting. 5-year-old. Are we talking about the little child in the past is a 5-year-old? Or am I, as an adult, going within myself in my memory, I'm a 5-year-old again? Winter heart, I don't know this expression. A heart from winter, I don't think it means a cold heart. I mean that this heart is alive as well in winter. Or maybe born in winter. We say here in Canada, I don't know if you say that, a fall child, a spring child, a winter child. I would say a heart born in winter. Does that make the contrast stronger? The fact that dew, meadows, flowers, honey smell are all apparently for the summer. So the winter heart, is it the today's heart compared to the 5-year-old? I think that it means simply the fact that the child, being a winter born or something like that, will kind of appreciate or like even more the summer period. That's just a suggestion. This winter heart is in a place called home. Again, I think it's the memory. So I'm 5 years old again, winter heart. Maybe my heart tends to be cold today, but I'm going there in that place called home, sailing the waves of the past. That's why the previous verse and this one suggest to me that it's the adult exploring his past, daydreaming, reminding those periods of life where he was happy. Meadows of heaven. Rocking chair without a dreamer. Wooden swing without laughter. Sandbox without toy soldiers. Yuletide without the flight. Dream bound for life. Very interesting. This is a very interesting paragraph. The rocking chair without a dreamer. Does that mean that the daydreamer is in a rocking chair, but he's not a dreamer as he used to be? Or is it a reminder that when he looks around, he sees the same rocking chair, the same wooden swing of his childhood, but the little child of the past is not in it anymore? That could be interesting as well. The sandbox without the toy soldiers, but I am at home like an adult. I see the room I grew up in, but the little child is not there anymore. I think this is what it implies. The adult contemplating the place of his childhood as a grown-up man or woman. Now, Yuletide without the flight, this I have no clue what it means. Yuletide is, of course, Christmas. without the flight of what? Of who? Of whom? I have no clue at all. I tried many things. Is there a flight associated with Christmas in your part of the world? No clue at all. Dream bound for life. The way I understand this sentence is simply, by the dream, I'm connected to it for life. A little bit like the meadows of life. I think that the song is talking about two levels, the level of life and the meadows of heaven. And a way to go through life is to go daydreaming in the heart, to connect with memories, with home, with everything that brought you up as a little boy. And I think this is what it means. The dream is the meadows of heaven, the daydream that you can access to go through life. That would be my understanding of this. Nice paragraph, isn't it? Flowers wither, treasures stay hidden, until I see the first star of fall. Flowers wither. We understand this, it's simple. Treasures stay hidden. I don't find the treasure. So I wonder here if the adult is not back and is not saying, okay, for now the treasures, I don't find them. For now, the swinging, what was the expression of the previous wooden swing, is without laughter. So the adult back home sees everything as it was, but the joy, the happiness is not there yet. But still, home is possible for me to find my balance again until I see the first star of fall. This is intriguing to me. In the north, the summer, May, June, July, August, there's a lot of light, almost 24 hours. If you live very far up north, a lot of light. Even if you're not living above the Arctic Circle, days are very, very long. The first star of fall here, of course, brings back the night that I see. And the first stars will give a direction. Remember that idea that we found in the Islander, to have a direction, to have a star. And we had the Yuletide evocation, the fact that we have a star to indicate a direction. I wonder if it's not that, but let me know. I fall asleep. I was daydreaming in the first verse, now I fall asleep. And I see it all in my sleep. Mother's care and color of the kites. I reconnect with childhood through sleep, through taking care of myself, through sleep. That's very interesting. Maybe the first star of fall is the beginning of a time of peace. I find peace again. What do you think? And then I can sleep. Maybe before I could not. Now I fall asleep. I find peace again. Meadows of heaven, you know this already. and the finale is quite remarkable. So in terms of structure, there's a beautiful introduction made with the cycle of the chorus on violins, beautifully played, and then you have two verses, two times the cycle of the one cycle for the chorus, two verses, 3 and 4. You have the cycle of the chorus two times. There's a beautiful Celtic sounding instrumental portion before the bridge, and then there's the guitar solo after the bridge. Do you have two times a verse again, 5 and 6? If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to, but I didn't check on the piano or anything. The impression I have is that there's a key change, modulation right there. At least there is more pressure. There's more dynamically, it's stronger. But I think there's a key change. She seems to sing a little bit higher. And this pattern coming back with improv, which I haven't seen in Nightwish all that much, that we see quite currently in gospel music. In fact, if there is something that Nightwish didn't, a few pieces here and there of jazzy style, a little bit of gospel style here. There is it House to Heart that has a gospel section with Floor? That's about it. So I'd like to see Nightwish go into that direction a little bit, because I love the improv of these singers. They are not regular metal singers. They are gospel singers, both man and woman, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a ballad with an unforgettable melody. The quality of the melody of this song is exceptional. There is majesty, there is grandeur. It makes me think of the finale of Ghost Love score on the studio version. The studio version is all about the choir and the symphonic orchestra, as the live version is focused more on the performance of Floor. So, but I love the original recording as well. It reminds me of that here. It's a conclusion of a journey. It's obviously it's built like that. A moment of peace, a moment of enlargement of the heart, and the gospel influences. In terms of music, this is what we have. Now, in terms of lyrics, it seems to be an adult connecting with the child in him or her, finding peace that was once experienced. It's a remarkable concluding piece of music. The whole universe basically is called to this, what seems to me a reconciliation. So what do I think of this song? First, my analysis. It's a song directly connected with the opening called The Poet and the Pendulum. The Poet and the Pendulum kinds of is a summary of what will happen during that album, and the last section of The Poet and the Pendulum and Meadows of Heaven are obviously connected. So Poet and the Pendulum was, let's say, for a little bit of a forecast of what we will go through in the journey of the album, on that album. After a lot of turmoil, find peace again. Now, how can the child live in the adult, the very one passing through tough times in life, not in life? So it's how can the child still lives in the adult going through difficult times? And I think that is a common theme of Nightwish in general, and of that album in particular. So how can we do that? We go back to the source: childhood, home, mother's love, etc., etc. What is called the source here is multifacets. There are different elements included in that, but this is pretty much what you can find. So, in terms of opinion here, it's a larger than life melody. This melody is unforgettable. As an artist, as a musician, it's impossible not to be touched by the beauty of this melody. It's a remarkable blend of lyrics and melody. There's a deep, very deep coherence that we know our friend Thomas is able to do. It's really something that he is a master at it. After the very harsh Master Passion Creed and Bye Bye Beautiful, after facing with courage the wolves of the previous song, we can understand finally the poet and the pendulum, because what was announced comes into conclusion in that final chapter. So it's a journey towards peace and healing. Now, can a broken heart survive? I think it is a very important question that we have many times in Nightwish repertoire. Can a broken heart survive? Can a child survive in the body of an adult? The child not being childish, but the child as innocence, as peace, as hope, happiness. The journey is long and difficult, but the album seems to be saying, yes, it can. It has a lot to do with our source, our home. And here, home means both the family, means all of this, the family, the community, the land. So I think that the song in that is excellent to tell the story. Now, let's go to the acoustic version of the song. I'm really looking forward to hear that, because a good part of the song is associated with the expansion. So I want to see how an acoustic version will give that. Let's see. Let's hear it. Three minutes, half the length. Opening is on the cycle of the chorus. So this is what he is evoking here.
I close my eyes, the lantern dies, the scent of awakening, wild honey and you, childhood games, woods and lakes, streams of silver,
That's nice.
of olden days, meadows of heaven, meadows of heaven.
Works, eh?
The flowers of wonder and the hidden treasure in the meadow of life, my acre of heaven. A 5-year-old winter home in a place called home, sailing the waves of past, meadows of heaven.
Strumming.
Meadows of heaven. Meadows of heaven. Meadows of heaven. Flowers wither, treasures stay hidden.
No bridge.
Until I see the first star of fall.
Directly to verse 5 and 6.
Fall asleep
Yeah, makes a lot of sense to do it like this because, of course, you don't have the whole orchestra with you. So she caught the Celtic. He made a very beautiful introduction on the guitar that is pretty much the same idea of the violin in the original recording. But they removed the Celtic section, the bridge, so I would say globally the bridge, made up of instrumental section, more with the flutes and Celtic sound, the spoken or song bridge that you have after, and the electric guitar solo that you have right after that. They jump directly to the verses 5 and 6 and a finale that is quite simple without the amplification, the enlargement that you have. They could have done that. They could have done that. Probably he's a good guitarist, and she is able to sing quite well even in that kind of setting. But they chose to keep it very mellow, very, I would say, as a healing song, simple healing song. Well done, well done. Let's now go to the third video and listen now to it seems to be in symphonic version, 6 minutes and 3. So probably the length of the guitar solo. But maybe there's an ensemble of metal in the symphonic version. I have no clue. Let's go. It's not good. People talking. very clean voice. That's how they replaced the solo, guitar solo. So
Flowers without, treasures stay hidden until
she's so elegant, isn't it?
the first star of fall. I fall asleep and see it all.
It's raining.
Mother's wind and color of the windows of heaven, windows of heaven, windows of
Oh, she's able. She's able to go through to go into the gospel world, gospel influences. That's great. I didn't know that of her. I remember her on Imaginarium, singing a gospel, no, a jazz song. But I didn't know that she was that. This was excellent, first class. So we are back with our final slide for the for this video, and next week, what I will do is simply do the wrap up of the album, because I have to bring back all the ideas that we developed through this series and the previous one. Afterward, we will go back to the warning, just to I wrote the warnings, but it's the warning, just to finish what we already did, because we analyzed our EP last year. We will now do the full album from which this EP was taken from. The intro will be treated with the 5th song, called Money. But the first 3 songs are already done, so maybe you would like to go back and find those videos I did on these 3. So I will give you the information next week. As for now, next week will be then the wrap up of the album Dark Passion Play. You already know I love the album. I absolutely love it. Don't forget, reaction analysis. Everything is done in English, but of course you have 8 languages for subtitles. Somebody, I was extremely happy last week, told me that the Finnish subtitles were very good. I'm so pleased with that. I do my best to give excellent English and French because I know the language. I reread very fast Italian and Italian and Spanish, but I have no clue of what it gives when I, with the little app DeepL, I translate into a Dutch, into Finnish, into Romanian and Portuguese. Sorry if it's bad. Happy if it's good. Extremely happy. So thank you very much. Thank you for your support. As for as usual, the premiere will be at 1:30 on Friday, every Fridays, and it's something like 7:30 for you in Western Europe. If you don't want to miss anything, just subscribe and push the little bell beside the subscription button. That way you won't miss anything. You will have a notification just before the final, the presentation, the premiere. As for now, extremely happy. It was a wonderful journey. We'll see you next week for the wrap-up. Have a nice week. Bye-bye. Oh, and certainly we will listen to something.